Oh, hello. We are gonna jump right in. Still pretty tired. I just kind of warmed up, or just kind of woke up. I'm not warmed up. Morning, Countess. But best way to warm up is just to start runs, I think. Stuffy. Alright, well, let's see what happens. The quicker we start, the quicker we can reset over giant worm. Can feel the big PB coming on. I should have put world record attempts in my title instead of PB attempts. I think that's how you get all the views. Too late now. Well, it's not really too late now, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Oh, Callie, I meant to ask, you were saying last night that on Cobi, 2 of the bridge fight enemies only have a 1 sacrifice resistance. Do you know which 2? I'm assuming it's the Centaur and the Garudian, and not the Giga Draco, but if the Giga Draco has the low resistance, that could actually be a pretty big deal. His white fire is so annoying. Yo, ASK, morning. Thanks for the data face. No. All of our runs in the race sucked. Yeah, Cowie was having fun. He was vibing. But, in terms of time, it did not go well. It wasn't a good idea. It still ended up kind of closer than it had any right to be, when the best of our 3 times was errors at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Finished at like 2:18, and Cowie was another few minutes behind that. But like, considering how everything went in the run, could have been much worse. Actually, I don't know if it could have been much worse, but as a race, it could have been much worse. And then Error had a run after the race that could have easily beaten my PB with the luck he was getting. But he kind of made some mistakes and did not end up getting the PB out of it. bumped up the do not use these line. Yeah, I can believe that. Step. Feel pretty good intro mashing. We're not saving here. Oops. We got an early herb. Yeah, I'm curious how the Aquarella works out. Way more durable than a worm, but probably less durable than an armor peat, I would guess, right? I probably should have healed. Yeah. One place is a higher defense. I see. Okay, well I didn't really mean to name him A, but we have a cactoball named A. You know what? I have a lot of herbs to spare. Let's just do this. On worm. I've gotten 3 spookies in a row. Can I see a worm? I'm gonna put A on defensive. I'm doing that a lot to try to reduce the chance of needing to heal. Cactoball here. Not the fastest worm ever, but not bad as a first try. Just had the 3 spookies in the way. 2 of which were ambushes anyway. take it. So do you do the same breeding then? Do you breed Squiz with the armor pede and then also with the spiky boy? Like all the same? That's cool. And then I guess you end up with only keeping those two monsters in Sky and Limbo, and you don't even have a third, right? Which is also nice, because you don't need to worry about whether or not it dies. Whether you split XP or anything. I mean for, like, late game. Like, why would you even bother having anything in the late game? Oh, do you? I was not sure of that. Still, you have, well, you have plenty of, monsters in the farm that you could go grab your cactoball or something like that. We're gonna actually heal cactoball here. Oh, it needs to be at 0 wild, too. I don't know what the triggers for anything in this game are. Scary. Yeah, obviously, wild is not something to be, Join me, Candle, join me. Yeah, are there any other monsters in the game that join you like that? Like Beano and Squiz do? Like due to some scripted event rather than... rather than being recruited. Oops. Stunned. Looking at chat. What about the Kraken from Pirate? Does the Kraken join you? Oops. Anyway. We'll go around this way. More Groot, would have been a good meme to route the Kraken into some kind of run. No breeding sounds like a relatively fun meme run, though. Murders you. Well, yeah, obviously. Yep. Right, yeah. Obviously, you're not going to beat it with just a regular post-pirate team. I think every casual player tries doing that, and it never goes well. I certainly did when I played casually. Worm should survive one hit. Somewhere around 100 damage. Damage is pretty low this fight. My worm's not very good. Really like him to kill off A. It's actually slower than I thought it was. Why? Because of the worm? You know what? Let's take a chance. Don't kill the worm. Really slow lamp fight. Right though. Plenty of time to save still. I'm not too picky on my first lamp time. Of dark eggs to make all the white kings and patron. How many of them do you need, do you know? Definitely seems like probably better than trying to do it naturally. Only 10 per egg. And do you choose the egg? Is it always a dark egg? Is it random what you get? Would you have to, like, save scum it? Okay. I've never done any post-game in this, I don't think. And I don't know that I'm assuming I never got enough tiny medals when I played casually to do anything like that. I don't remember. Maybe I did. I don't remember how many you get. It's like finding them in the world. Herbs first. Hopefully this is the last encounter. Nope. Quick one. Hopefully this is the last encounter. Even that herb. I do have one inventory slot to pick something up if I need to. I'll grab this one, since I got this encounter. You all focus the same one. Alright, well, we're off to a pretty slow start, but plenty of time to be saved in Pirate. Hand off the controller for a second. When I needed to be mashing. And this worm sucks. I thought you were on no skills. Why are you using Beast Cut? Oh, it's because I changed it on the lamp. That's why. I don't usually change tactics on the lamp, but I went defensive for a turn. Don't kill Worm. You'd sit in front of the boring glowing box when there's snow outside. We had snow the last couple days. I haven't looked outside today, but This is definitely going to be a YOLO the friend staff on Squiz and hope to get it for both run, because this worm is really bad, so it's going to be an optimal friend staff. Garbage arena. Bad arena, bad encounters on the pirate revisit. All around just a slow start. Fight's not the same as Terra. What is it? Yeah, we get Babble, Pearl Gel, Babble, and then Spiky Boy, Pixie, Dracky, and then Mad Raven. Kitehawk, Mad Raven. Wasn't great mashing. Okay. This should be the one outside Squiz Cave. Alright, let's hope it doesn't break on Squiz. Did not break. Okay. We got a chance. We're not going to bother with the worm. Whatever happens to him happens. Mad Raven's in a spell room. I know having to revive the worm isn't ideal, but there was a good chance that worm was going to die even if I tried to keep him alive, so at least this way I save some herbs. I'm not counting damage or anything, so we're just going to keep the lamp alive too. We getting close? Good PM. Thanks for the GOHF. Been not the best start, but using the front staff on Squiz and it not breaking makes up for some of that for sure. I've debated changing the shopping here a little bit and only getting the one exit bell that I need in Pirate and buying an extra love water or two with the money. And then buying the rest of the exit bells in Ice because it's not that much slower. I don't think I'm going to do that this run. I've got a lot of herbs left for healing, so hopping up in between Bone Slave and CaptDead isn't going to be an issue. Alright, let's go. Give me Gopher and Army Ant. I'll take either of these, so... Part of me is tempted to just take the Gopher with me instead of the worm. Oh great, the same name as the Curse Lamp. Fine. Not too confusing. Probably. Don't remember other stats compare, yeah. My worm was only hitting Squiz for 1 damage. So I'm expecting him to be really bad about CaptDead, so it kind of, like, can't be worse. I mean, it can be worse, but not really. I'm just not going to care if the worm dies. I'd like him to survive Bone Slave, but... We'll do one more turn with Lord Dance. The Bone Slave, but okay. Oh, nice grip, you know. Alright. CaptDead. Okay, front staff broke, but that's okay. I'm actually just gonna heal. Fine. Hopefully kill Slave A. Oh, nice. Well, with that crit for sure. Love water. With the big heal. Nice crit. So once again, run is going to come down to the DarkEye. I'm actually a little surprised that I didn't save more time on that split with getting the double friend staff use. Minute 40. Oh, I guess my PB probably had one of the friend staff uses anyway. I think it had it for Squiz, so I guess it's really just the CaptDead save, which saving 140 on CaptDead with the friend staff is about right. Alright, DarkEye. Just give me an error of Rudo DarkEye. Like, first try, single DarkEye, joins me first time. I was actually tempted to pick up that herb. Yeah, I should have. I don't have a ton of healing. if I take damage on these encounters, I do need to survive the, oh, let's step first. Vision was harmed. I feel like these are in a backwards formation to how they normally are. Like usually the evil one's on the left. Hopefully it's not an issue. Easy peasy. Dino's got enough HP that I'm not worried about the lava. I should actually figure out what the damage number is for the lava. Get an exact HP amount. Hyper tile. It's 10 or 11. I think 10. Yeah, 11 wouldn't really make sense. Gopher, Army Ant. Make sure I don't grab the wrong monster with the same name. Nope. Slightly sloppy there, but okay. Mad Gopher, go mad, go far. Funny. Oops. You'll run an errand? Will miracles never cease? Always cracks me up. Alright. Breed the worm. One thing I noticed that Error does differently here is, I always put the worm in front of the bear. So I actually hatch the worm first and then breed the bear. But Error puts the bear in front. And I don't know that I like that, but interesting difference. I like protecting the bear at all costs. The bear does have more HP, but... Alright, as long as I don't get owned by the first encounter in ice, we'll be in really good shape. It's actually less of a time save than I expected. I guess my fight where I recruited the DarkEye was a little slow. I'll take that. Give me a single enemy, please. All right, 2. Better than 3. Not an especially scary one either. Good. We're gonna go back to this. I'm too scared. Alright. That was a slow fight. Kind of my own fault, but not too slow. Anything where the first encounter dies is good with me, and I don't die. Slow mashing. Alright, off we go. Gold is just gonna stay there. Oh, this fight's actually... Oh, I'm still on defensive. I can fix the worm, but I can't fix the Grizzly. Heal Squiz. My mistake. Not a huge deal, all things considered, but... Gold's too far out of the way to go for. A little bit of a slow start to ice, but... Just a pork chop. I never pick up meat, but I always instinctively check that slot, because there's, like, very frequently an item in that spot. Alright, get him, Kunon. Nice crit, worm. Music complements the music you're practicing. That's funny. $40's a little sketchy here. Alright. I'm gonna want to buy Love Water before Silver Devil. Could have actually also healed in that menu before warp staffing. Okay though. What is it you're practicing today, PM? Not that I'll know what it is, but I'm still curious. Firebane. Worse. Better than sleep. Good, sleep missed. Even better. There's twin hits, perfect. Heal up, and off we go. Oh, I need to revive Squiz. Need to revive Squiz. Whoop! U-turn. Don't do that again. What I did in the race last night, I don't need to buy Love Water, I already bought Love Water, let's just go. And I did already buy Love Water, but reviving Squiz is still important. I want that gold, there's too many steps. Hey look, it's Pierre. Casting heal on turn 1 when everybody's at full HP. I debate manually targeting on these fights. I do it sometimes. Actually okay with Ice Bolt there. Still a little slower of an animation, but it at least killed the Slime Knight, so. Not like an Ice Bolt on the Silver Devil or something. I don't like how, just the regular ice music plays here. The regular music plays during this hoop jumping. You don't get special hoop jump music. Probably Mario's practicing special hoop jump music. Maybe. Vivify? Vivify? TIL, they can do that. Oh my god, and it's always working! Well, that's a bad meme. I should actually check my inventory real quick. I've got a spot. I did not know they had Vivify, much less have it guaranteed, apparently. Kill Squiz. Well, this ice became very slow from these encounters, but it can still be okay if we get a decent walk to, sleep herb and everything. I guess maybe it's my fault. I should have stop spelled on the Orcs or something. I just didn't realize they could do that, and then I didn't think of it while I was in the fight. Oh, wait. Kill Squiz. Oh no. Oh. Please. Alright, well, this ice now kind of sucks. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We are going to relief. Way behind on stream. It wouldn't have been that far out of the way to just go to town and revive in town. But this ice has been bad enough that I don't want it to be any slower. Just an herb. Whirl Recce? Maybe. This ice has been really slow, though. But probably not. Possible, though. Hey, Mello. Thanks to the GL. Yeah, the RTA in Japan run was pretty fun. It's fun to do commentary for that one. Right. Let's see. How quickly I can do this. Downside to buying the love water there is, does mean that Fleet Burb is harder to find. Okay, he'll die in this turn. Easy. Keep looking at the timer, trying to figure out how much time I'm going to lose, but have to see. I'm actually going to grab this gold. Takes time to get the gold, but I can make up that time later by getting more world dues and such, so. See. Still 238 ahead. So still record pace. There's time to save on Sky and there's time to lose in Limbo. So it's probably not going to be record. But just because my Limbo and my PB is really good. It's gonna be hard to match that. regardless of how well Sky goes. If Sky is like perfect, there's a chance. But I expect to lose 40 seconds on Limbo. The Sky has maybe 30 to save. I mean, maybe more, but I think my gold is about 31 seconds faster than my PB. My PB is a gold Limbo. We'll see. So I'm always curious what it means. So this is me knowing nothing about classical music and me sounding like an idiot here. When you say you're practicing a trombone concerto, what does that mean? Like, you're playing the piano, obviously, so it's not just trombones, but it's like, does that mean that trombone is like the focus of the music, or like, what does something being a trombone concerto mean? You're practicing the orchestra part. Okay. They'd be standing in front. Okay, that's what I figured it meant. But I wasn't entirely sure. Concerto? Sure. No, not in the well. Into the starry. RP'd. I was playing them because they're not written for piano. Makes sense. Need more honky-tonky piano songs. We have 3 seconds there, huh? Good. Single enemy. Perfect. Perfect first encounter. Saying concerto I realize that, like, it's a language thing, but in my head, saying it like that just sounds so pretentious. And, it really just makes me think of, like, it's Charmley. No, stats are random. Monsters have, like, growth patterns. That determine, like, the range of stats they'll get, but they are not fixed. Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'll stand by that, too. And Argonia. Oh, is growth always the same? I actually didn't realize that. I thought it was a range. Don't mind me. I know nothing about this game. Kill Squiz. Okay, good. Will I learn EvilSlash off this? I'll gain exactly 20. Oh, I don't want you, Mirror. Are we in DQ6 world? Kind of. It's not, like, specifically DQ6 world, I guess, but the boss is Mudo, so... Kind of. He's Lance, basically. Monsters suddenly attack. That's annoying. Sort of, targeted differently. $900. I'll grab this too. Still love water. Unfortunate. And punish for by getting an encounter for it. Not a huge deal, but no, that's the wrong person. That's okay though. What do I want here? I want 4 repellents. 3 exit bells. Love water. I hope that's all I want. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Repellents are the important thing. Please give me a Roo. Oh my god. This is so frustrating. There's a non-zero chance that I lose world record to that. Ellie, how do you know that word? French in high school. No, you didn't. Did you? No, you didn't. You took Japanese. You always complain about the French names in Dragon Quest games. How do you know that word? Ocean. Okay, that's good. Japanese teacher spoke French. I mean, I could believe that, but... I don't believe that, but I could believe that. Come on, give me a first try here. Nice, okay. That kind of makes up for the change staff stuff. The notes for this game are on his site, yeah. I've also made a, my own updated set of notes for them. I don't have those posted anywhere. Just some slight differences. I actually need to finish going through my notes and, re-updating them. Most 4 language teachers seem to speak enough of the others. Yeah. I can believe that. Although, like... especially, like... Spanish, French. You know, if there was any, like, Italian or Latin or anything like that. Portuguese. Fair number of languages that are similar enough that those would probably be easy. German, maybe. German's a bit different, but... Japanese, though, is, like... not similar to... similar to those. But I still imagine it's one of those things where it's like, no. Where it's like you learn one language, it still becomes easier to learn more. Robbing everyone of a comfy casual play. I've at least done a comfy casual play of this game. Probably 6 or 7 years ago. But I have in fact beaten this game casually. I don't remember at all what my theme was or anything. I probably played it on emulator. I wonder if I still have my emulator save for it. Because I didn't have an EverDrive at the time, or a GameBoy Player. I always forget about this floor. I always want to forget about this floor. I noticed, SK, that we didn't get any more DQ3 runs this weekend, unless you're still planning on doing one today. I know you said you were practicing, but... Oh, SK, did you ever figure out what was going on with your microphone? Because at times in your last stream, it was pretty bad. Like, by the end, we pretty much couldn't hear you at all. I mean, a little bit, but... I'm assuming it was using, like, your webcam mic or something like that. It sounded like it was picking stuff up, it just sounded like your controller was louder than you were, for example, sometimes. It was kind of weird, actually. You know, I guess if Cowie's gonna complain about everybody playing a game he really likes, then I'll just have to go back to playing DQ9 or something. Repellent. Inventory's all messed up. You like complaining. I think that's true. I definitely think I like overall Monsters 2 more than Monsters 1. I like that there's an actual, like, story and unique worlds and stuff like that to it. Whereas Monsters 1, it's like mostly procedurally generated. But Monsters 1 has like more cool DQ bosses. So I appreciate Monsters 1 like the more I play other DQ games. And Monsters 1 is like a lot harder in this game. You can just like win with items in this game. In Monsters 1 you have to actually like experiment and play the game a little bit more. So I think I like this game more than Monsters 1, but I think I appreciate Monsters 1 more. That makes some kind of weird sense. Yeah, that's fair. Also, the post-game is better in Monsters 1. Alright, one thing I'm gonna do, which I always kind of waffle on, is using buy attack. If it's worth the extra time, but I should just have you fight. Super free Night Rich. Only 2 dues, huh? How much? Not enough for another one, huh? Alright, I guess we're loading up on Love Waters. This is sketchy. I've got 3 dues total and one leaf. I really want to not use any dues on Mudo. And if I do, I do. do. But like, I definitely want one for the bridge fight. Want one for Dark if possible. And I'd like one for in between Bridge and Dark. But I can heal that up with Love Waters if I have them. Alright, see how this goes. Could have potioned. Okay. Turn order here. Let's just do it. No, I hit fight. Okay. E-Magic. Oh man, this turn order sucks. Okay. That's okay. We're not going for sacrifice strats. Not this run. Alright. Need Limbo to not suck. Easier said than done, but... Okay. Part of me wants to debate saving here, but we're not gonna. Saving here would give me a chance at still PBing if I wipe on this fight, but it would hurt the chance at a record, so... Or nothing, that's right. Okay. White fire, that's not good. Hair. Also not good. I gotta do. Alright, I'll take it. I can use a do to heal up here. My potion. Well actually, no, we're just gonna do. Just do it. Do the fast thing, not the safe thing. Do or do not. Alright. Okay, bad turn order, but at least we got the Misty Fuddle, or Fuddle. Ordain. $1,200. $14,000. Halfway. The magic, okay. 22. $25. 31. I don't think this turn will kill, but... Nope, it did. Excellent. Need level ups. Alright, now I just need to mash. Thanks for the GGs. Still a 251, or 151, I mean. Not a 150, but... I think that's a... record, or record-ish. I don't know Tetra's exact time, but... I think it's like a mid-151. Howie's notes imply that there's a faster time, but no one can find it. I can't do this before you even wake up. It's fine. All this is doing is building the hype for when Error bops me. Error's gonna be coming for it. This run is very beatable. I'll do the speedrun breakdown once I get to the actual credits part. You're getting 1-4x? Have fun. I mean, I'm gonna keep playing this a little bit, but if I don't improve this time anymore, I'm happy. There was definitely a lot that could have gone better, but there was also a lot that could have gone worse. Oasis and Ice were slow. Pirate was very fast. Sky was fast-ish. Limbo was fast. I could have played Limbo a little bit faster. I was waffling between fast and conservative because I had pretty limited healing, limited dues. And, the bridge fight could have been faster. Limited healing. Well, I had tons of love water, but I only had 3 world dew. And 1 leaf. Which, like, it's enough, but... And that was for Mudo and Limbo. But it was enough that, like, finishing was more important than saving, than potentially saving, you know, 5 seconds or something. Okay, but that's because you used all your dues in the bridge fight. Like, I didn't have... Alright. Anyway. Intro, entering Oasis. Good mashing. Very, very fast. Oasis itself was a little slow. I did get Worm first try, but I got like 3 spookies first, and the worm sucked. The worm was not doing good damage at all, so Beavern and Curse Lamp were both a little slow. The Oasis wasn't good. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't good. And then I had a pretty slow revisit. I had a lot of encounters on the Oasis revisit, and I had a pretty slow tournament because the worm was so bad. My early game has, you know, big time saves. I've been a minute and a half up from this comparison, so I could be 3 minutes ahead going into Pirate. Manip the Friend Staff, it did not break on Squiz, so I got the Friend Staff for both Squiz and CaptDead. But Worm was terrible, so I just let the Worm die on Squiz, I let the Worm die in CaptDead, he contributed nothing. I almost took the Gopher over the Worm, in fact, when I recruited it, because the Worm was already level 10. But I decided not to. First try DarkEye. It came with an Evil Wand, the fight itself was a little slow, I got blinded and junk, but first encounter, first try recruit. That's the big time save of the run, right there. Ice was a bit slow, had a fair number of random encounters, and one in particular, I ran into Grizzly, Orc, and apparently Orcs can Vivify, and they Vivified like 3 or 4 times, and it was always successful. The Orcs and Grizzlies kept popping back up into the fight. I had never seen that before, so saw it once and it failed. Well, I saw it 3 times, and they all worked. So that was the slow part of Ice. Also, my bear got confused on Puppetor, and killed off Squiz and Worm before finishing off Puppetor. So I lost a fair bit of time on Puppetor also. So Ice definitely has time save in it. This ice wasn't good, and it was comparing against another ice that wasn't really that good either. Entering Sky is just menuing. Sky itself, I saved 20 seconds. I had like a 6th try change staff, 7th try change staff. It was like tree, wind beast, tree, Rue, or something. So I lost a fair bit of time to change staff, but maybe 30 seconds or so. So Sky could still be faster. But I had a first try EvilSlash on the Metabble. I had a 1 enemy first encounter. I had generally good encounter rates. I did get punished with an extra encounter by taking a couple steps to pick up some gold. I'm glad I did, because it was 900 and I was short on gold, but I didn't end up needing it in the end. And then Limbo was just fine. Again, I played a little bit. I healed a lot, which meant that I was doing more attacks than range slash or quad hits on the bridge fight. And so, no explode at Cass either. So, that could have been faster, but it was a strategic, let's try to be a little bit safer to make sure we finish the run. Dark himself was fine. Dark himself was quick. Some janky turn order, but kind of normal stuff. Yeah, that's the run. I'm not gonna do more of them today after this. I'm content with this one for now. I still might play a little bit more this week. It depends. I might start MGS3 on Monday. MGS3 is up next for casual playthrough. I might start on Monday, or it might be Thursday. I'm not decided yet. If I don't start until Thursday, I'll definitely play some more of this early in the week. If I start MGS3 on Monday, then there's a chance that I could play some of this on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's less likely if I start MGS3 on Monday. Hey, Ridley Killer. 151.13. Might be a 151.12. I will frame count it. Ooh. Whirl Recce. We are saving this one.